Revolution is being televised.
All right, there we are. I see the timer in the corner now.
Well, hello! Once again, you have found a Texas Steampunk Connection, broadcasting to you throughout the multiverse Steamverse from our various bunkers and airships. With me, as always, is Thax, Gentleman Adventurer.
Hello, hello.
With me is Jack from Steam Chest.
Hello.
And we have with us today Master Blue Stocking from Steampunk Dollhouse podcast. So once again, we are here to talk, probably about steampunk, most likely, because that's what this is about. Thank you for listening to the Texas Steampunk Connection.
And we're back.
We are.
And, usually we get things started a little early so people have a chance to jump in, but, we're not doing that tonight. So sound off when you get here. That's awesome. We were just talking about school and too much work and crying. Hi, Rita.
Hi, Rita.
What's up, Rita? Here every time we're here.
Sometimes we make decisions that seem like a good idea. Sometimes they don't feel like it later. No worries.
Jack, how have you been the last 2 weeks?
It has been stupid. Of course, those of you who do not know this, I'm in the insurance business, so doing a lot of things with insurance lately. Mainly claims, because apparently tornadoes and insurance go well together, apparently.
Yeah. You're entering catastrophe season.
That it just happened right before our last episode. And so you to see the fallout. Well, anybody who wasn't touched by it has forgotten by now.
Yep, exactly. The 19 homes that were completely obliterated out in my area.
Oh no!
2 of them, Cody's classmates.
Jesus.
Oh no!
So, yeah. That's been a thing. We've been doing all the local stuff, trying to help them out. I was actually out there the same day, helping them haul out all their furniture that survived and or didn't survive, depending. So that's fun. But yeah, a large amount of community outreach has happened. I'm very happy with my little town.
Good. Good. Yeah, we had some come real close last night, but they stayed just north of us, as they usually do. So where we are in Denton proper, we're in Denton's kind of a bowl, so we're right in the center of town, so we get really lucky.
Nice.
But yeah, wasn't that lucky for some people around here, but that's the season. Oh.
Yep. All right. Well, everybody, this is Travis, one of my good friends.
Hi. / pseudo business partner.
Yep, pseudo business partner. As always, I'm always in the shady dealings with somebody. And about every couple of years, we pop up together trying out something randomly new. And I've been forced to, what's the right word for it? Take part and be part of his, be his rat in his psychological maze, in which you got me in with your one of your current projects that we'll be talking about here shortly. And
it's fun.
Which one?
I said it's fun, man. Come on, you love it. Yay!
Yep.
Cool.
Now, Travis is a game designer. Is that right?
Partially, the writer / game designer, both amateur. I recently built a children's board game creation system. And that's what I'm partnered with Jack on. And we're also working on an actual steampunk RPG.
Yep.
It's kind of goes in a different direction than normal RPGs. I'm cutting down character build time, trying to minimize ease, I guess you'd say, because sometimes RPGs kind of are naturally too easy in a way. If you're a game master, It's like it's too easy sometimes to just say, okay, well, yeah, that works. Yeah, that works. Okay, yeah, you hit that person. Because you try to be nice. You're trying to be nice all the time. So the goal in the game that I'm building is effectively to use opposition rolling so that we can effectively put the onus on the dice itself. So the game master doesn't feel like they're being mean if they fail something. The person doesn't feel they're being mean because it's like, oh.
So basically, you're trying to give all of the liability and stress off the DM for making these calls and getting them away scot-free and blaming it on the dice.
Exactly.
Yes. See, I've never had a DM or a GM that wasn't a bastard. Which always made the games so much better because it's like, all right, your character has now fallen in a hole. Cool. Now, in this hole, there are some man-eating hyenas. Get out of this hole. And see, like you roll to try to get out of the hole. Well, your character grabs onto the edge. Oh, you've got them on your feet now, and you have to kick them off. There's another roll. Oh, you're starting. The ground is starting to break. You're starting to fall again. So then, there's a root. You grab on the root. Of course, you do the Indiana Jones thing where the root goes out like 18 feet. You fall halfway down the hole again. And so it's always and then of course if you get out of the hole, well, there's the dragon you were running away from to begin with now looking at you. So it's always that it's the out of the frying pan almost continually. And so I love that. So anything that makes that easier for GMs to kind of give that rolling action of feeling like you're in an adventure Indiana Jones style, I guess there's always something else. Oh, you just got away from the trap and you turn and now there's a whole bunch of natives. And now you're being chased by the natives and then all of a sudden you hit another thing and now there's a ball chasing you out, whatever. And now there's an anaconda in your lap in the plane that you're getting away in. So
I think that's what a good DM should do. I mean, he's letting you get away, and he's then putting another thing in your way after that. Another thing after that. So you're getting your little victories, but he's not letting you off scot-free.
Yeah, he's not letting you off the hook completely. You still got to fight for your victory, and you got to fight really hard. So I'm looking forward to seeing how Travis pulls this off. We haven't talked about that one a whole lot lately, which we need to get back into again.
Yeah, that's. I was writing an actual novel based on it, where I had developed the characters with Jack's assistance, and we started working through the storyline, and then I've never written steampunk before, so I sent it off to Jack, and I asked him. I said, "Could you read this so I know that I'm kind of getting it right?" And then I bounced off to another project, and Jack never got back to me. So
it happens, life, man. Send it to me again. We'll go. Well, I'll hammer it through. I'm in a better place when it comes to reading.
You are blamed, but
call me out in front of everybody. Thanks. Let me just drink some more over here real quick so I can handle the social crushing feeling here.
Oh, did you say drink?
Oh, we didn't do that
I say
yet.
a segue. That's how we call bridging here, or our library can explain this concept.
Well, what are you drinking, Jack?
So this is really cool stuff. I think we've probably talked about it before. It's Saint Germain. It is a Bach flower liquor.
Oh.
Wait. Am I get that right? Elderflower. My bad, not Bach flower.
Okay.
Completely different thing. No, elderflower liqueur. And it smells delicious, first off, for those of you who are going to sit there going, elderberries. This is not elderberries, this is elderflower. So it is very... It's unique. Go find some, drink it. It's hard to explain. It tastes like liquid flowers. And in honey. It's delicious.
I'm just trying to picture what flowers would taste like.
So All right.
I
all
was
right.
going to say
Okay.
something.
Let me give a little
kind of-
caveat to that then, because obviously there's a lot of flowers out there that would taste pretty nasty, like earwax and whatnot. But no, this is like if you took honey locust or any type of like not thistle. What can't they come up with? You know those little flowers where you take the pistil out and you like get that one little drop?
Honeysuckle?
A honeysuckle. This is honeysuckle liqueur, essentially. It is freaking
Okay.
delicious.
Oh wow.
Clearly.
Okay.
Yeah. This stuff is the stuff I'm now carrying to conventions when I get there. First off, the bottle is freaking fantastic looking, and it's real glass, but it's thick glass, so that you could actually hold up in a bag pretty well. And it's something I can actually find right now, unlike my Slovakian Tatra tea, which, well, with everything going on, there's no way to get that anymore here in the United States.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
unfortunately, it was already being canceled out of the United States prior to everything happening over in Ukraine. But yeah, no, that stuff's I can't drink any more of that because it's now collector's items apparently.
Do you have any left?
Yeah, I have like 3 or 4 bottles. I
So you
keep
just hold
going
on to
around Austin looking for it, and I'll just keep asking
You're
random
hoarding
liquor stores. I'm hoarding it. I'm actually like my brother's the one that I actually hoard it for because I give him a bottle every year for his birthday, and he's like, "Where are you finding this?" I'm like, "Oh man, the liquor stores are buying this stuff," which actually would be a really fun steampunk adventure. We need to probably think about that one. Just randomly
Mine
wander into a liquor
actually-
store.
So you're hoarding liquor like it's toilet paper right now. That's basically what you're doing.
I
No
can't find
shame.
it in that quantity, or else I'd be
Shame.
happy.
But he said the
I-
magic. He said the magic words for tax purposes. He is giving it as gifts. He is not selling it.
Of course, we would know this. It's me. That's what I'm drinking.
Awesome. And that's
Something I heard on the radio. I am drinking Guinness Stout, a good old standby. As far as stouts go, it's pretty mild and simple, but it's got a lot of memories tied up in it for me, so I like it. I heard on the radio today that there is expected to be a shortage of barley for beer
oh
Uh-oh.
no.
because like 40% of it in the world comes from Russia and Ukraine. So
We just cut off our beer producer.
expect our beer prices to go up. Yeah.
Well, damn.
Between that and fertilizer, yeah, we're gonna have a
Yeah,
lot
I
of
heard about
problems.
the fertilizer today.
We
Mead.
really do we import our
Mead is the
fertilizer
solution.
from
The solution is mead.
Mead.
Yeah, the
Which I
fertilizer.
live in a meadery town.
The fertilizer thing is weird. Apparently, that we make most of our own, but apparently, I guess every nation imports some from
Yeah.
them. Not like it's not like no, there's no one nation that depends on them solely for fertilizer, but
Yeah.
they do have a healthy export globally on that.
I
Yeah.
Did some research on that and reason why. Because permafrost actually is a wonderful way to break up materials, so then it melts, and then it just molds over terribly because it's all broken down from being frozen completely for so long, so that when it does thaw in the summertime, it is literally just super biodegradable, and the bacteria and the mold and the fungus can get in there and just easily break down stuff. So producing like mass manure and mass like whole forests just basically turn into bogs, and they just basically scoop it up and ship it.
Yep.
It's really easy.
Yeah, it's right there. I
It's
mean,
easier
there's
than growing potatoes.
well, but if you use the fertilizer, won't potatoes be easier to grow?
Yeah, except when they freeze solid. You gotta be careful.
True.
Potatoes
Who's
hold
talking
best over the
about
winter
what?
time as vodka.
let me say you do not appear to be drinking your regular red wine.
No, it's Shiner. It's what I had on hand because I made mac and cheese this weekend. I have a beer mac and cheese recipe that I use.
Ooh.
I just drink my beer with mac and cheese. It's fantastic. But
Well, I do that
pouring
too.
it in there. I never thought about that.
Yeah, it's really good. I can send you. Dax looks very excited, so I will send you the recipe. It's got bacon on top and all. Just
Like we've said before, we need to just make a steampunk
cookbook.
cookbook.
Somebody surely has done that by now.
Things that Thax would eat. Things that Thax won't eat.
God,
Travis, this is one of the things we do on each show. We start drinking. So that's what we're doing here. It looks like you've got a Coke over there.
Yeah. I by the time I actually remembered that I was supposed to be doing this evening, I like half the day I kind of forgotten about it. I've been watching shows and playing games and such, and then by the time I actually got to this point, I'm like, oh crap, Jack just sent the message. I was like, oh, Coke, yay.
Woo! Good standby.
Well, stand by.
Something you can no longer get in Russia.
Yeah, no shit, right? Oh, you could probably still get it. It's just going to be the knockoff version.
Not the same since they take the cocaine out.
It's potato.
I found a steampunk cookbook and I just tossed it into the private chat. So there you go.
Oh.
I knew I'd heard of one before. I just couldn't remember where, but it's really old. But yeah, there is one out there. So
cool.
Yep.
We'll have to judge it.
Yes, we'll judge it profusely next episode.
So let's get back to this steampunk RPG. Aside from it being heavy-handed on the dice rolling.
Yeah.
Even with the DM on my side, the dice usually want to kill me, so I'm a little scared. Tell me more about like the setting and that sort of thing. What you're getting at?
The setting, the original setting that we're starting out with is just a world that I created. Essentially, we developed a portal system where we opened a wormhole accidentally when we were trying to screw with negative energy. Well, a lot of the negative energy experiments that EagleWorks is doing and people like that, they're kind of like figuring out wormholes and they're in such right now. So anyway, we create a wormhole. And for a while, it's stable. And the guy that developed it and found this land, he kept it open for an extended period of time. And people were moving back and forth. It was colonized and everything. And then all of a sudden, he just goes completely crazy and just shuts the portal down, destroys all of his nodes, removes everything that tells how to, target the planet that they're on, and now this colony is completely, isolated. So, because they don't have the support of all the manufacturing facilities and everything that we were, providing them through the portal, now they have to redo it all and have to kind of build up a base for themselves. And lo and behold, they find a product when they're mining, when they're trying to mine for new minerals and such. It turns out to be an excrement of a worm that digs through the earth. Anyway, after so many years of, I guess you'd say, chemical evolution of this product, it turns into a mineral that generates its own heat. And the more pure it is, the higher the heat generated. So effectively, it's a perpetual heat generation system that can go on for, like 1,000 years. Kind of like nuclear power, but not as dangerous. It's a safe
The poop
version
non-radioactive
Yeah.
plutonium.
Yeah, non-radioactive, but it does kind of the same thing where it just spits out heat for years and years and years. Anyway, so that spawned, like, everything in this world is now steam powered because you had this abundant resource that people could harness, and now you had this rock that was giving off heat. You didn't have to
So
use
it's clean coal.
essentially, basically. And
Worms we trust.
well, that's how it turns into a steampunk setting. It was tied to us, and then it got shut off, so they had to redo everything. So it ended up becoming a steampunk setting, effectively.
Okay, so it's sort of an apocalyptic event cut them
Yes.
off from
In a way, yes.
modern world and modern technology and resources, and now they've had to re-engineer for the resources that they have.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Try to make it more of a realistic, kind of like a scientific realism as much as possible. But anyway, so the role-playing game started, like, the idea came from this game that me and Jack were talking about earlier, is the Build Your Own Board Game Adventure Game Edition. And what it is for kids 4 to 8, and you get together with your children, you sit down and you actually build, like, board games. And the reason why I said it's the adventure game edition is because it's all about building an actual adventure game where it's not necessarily a competition in a way. This is games that are, you can change up the adventure every time you have it, and it's something that you can build together. So it doesn't have to be something that you're competing against each other, because we all know, like, young kids in Monopoly rarely mixes very well, because it tend to cause more fights than you can possibly. Just like, oh, you're cheating. No, you're doing this wrong. It's just, I
Can't you
kind
count?
of, yeah.
Well, after playing through it and creating our own, it can be as easy as Candyland or as difficult as Monopoly, depending on. But the thing is the game would grow. Like, you can make a really simple game for a 4-year-old. Roll the dice, move the character across the board that you create, and then you can say, okay, well, first off, that's cool. You roll the dice, and so many dice rolls, you get to the end. Or, oh, you landed on a purple. Now you go back, or you go forward. You can add the dynamics that getting into it. Then as that goes along, as the kid gets older, you can now throw storyline in. Oh, you landed on a purple. That means this is now a consequence or happens. Your character does this. Basically, you're teaching them an evolutionary step into role play from a basic board game that you started and will grow with the kid. I like the concept. It works out really well, and it gives the parent enough direction that you don't have, like, your imagination is it's limitless depending on your imagination, which is also kind of a scary thought too. Like, well, where's the boundaries? Do I stay, So this actually gives you good step by step of, like, what's important for the game to go forward, and where it can expand. You can, and after going through it 2 or 3 times or playing it a couple times, you're like, well, this is now getting a little stale. Let's add some stuff. As a parent, you'll be like, no, okay, here we go. Let's do this now. And the kid's like, oh, this is a thing now. We're changing the rules. But it makes it really easy to just do it on the fly. And I think that's exceedingly important.
No, that sounds really cool, actually.
Thank you. I greatly appreciate that. Thank you.
Where does one get a copy of this Build Your Own Board Game?
Glad you asked. Because you can pick it up right on Amazon.
Right on Amazon. Me and Frank both ask anybody that has a what do you call it? Kindle Unlimited account. if you can take 5 minutes out of your day to go over to Kindle Unlimited, it is free on Kindle Unlimited to read. And all you got to do is just page through it. Take a couple seconds on each page through it. Even if you're not interested in building it, even if you don't have kids or anything, I'll just help us out, give us a little bit of momentum, because the more people that read it through Kindle Unlimited, the higher it goes on the sales figures. Like I've sold 4 copies total, both in sales and in Kindle Unlimited, and I'm already number 257 in juvenile activities books. So the higher I get on that list, the more, I guess you'd say,
The more traffic you'll get.
Yeah,
the more
traffic
yeah.
I'll get.
More high, you'll pop up
Like
more in an algorithm. But
put
even
the
then,
link in
I mean, it's
the
not
private
expensive. Getting the book, you can get it in hardback too.
or soft cover.
Yeah, throw a link in it.
So, there's the link for the Kindle, and then let me take it to get the link for the soft cover. And there's a link for the soft cover. It's the same page, just one's tiny little putting over.
Yeah.
Thank you. I appreciate you putting that up.
Ah,
Sure, yeah.
we're here for.
Wait a minute.
Uh-oh.
Try that again. Tell me I had an error. Oh, no. It worked. Okay. Technology.
Get off the whip. Get up the whip, Fax. Don't tell me I have an error.
It's like, oh no, you landed on a purple square. Now Uncle Fax has to take a shot.
Hey,
Yes.
honestly, you could create a really fantastic
Drink.
drinking game.
Definitely.
I don't know. Designing the game itself is actually its own adventure to begin with, and then playing through it is also different. And then sitting down and going, well, what could we do different next time? You can build stories this way. You could actually easily do quick and dirty, sturdy line. Okay, well, I mean clean because you're children, but
Yeah.
I mean it's off the cuff. You just sit down, you throw out the board, you put the little character icons down that you've come up with, and it takes no time at all. And I think that's one of the more important part of this is that you can literally pick up where you left off. It's an awesome storytelling aspect. I've actually been considering sitting down and reading The Hobbit to my kid, and it would be almost really easy to use this game as a kind of a step-by-step what happens through the story, even just as a placeholder thing. I mean, I like the dynamicness of it, and the fact that you get to create your own board out of whatever. You're welcome. I like the idea in the thing.
I like that it invites kids to create the game they want to play.
Yeah.
That it gives them permission to start making things.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of the main reasons why I wanted to break through with Jack, because I know the steampunk community is really big into makers, and a lot of makers into the community. And this is a do-it-yourselfer beginning guide. It's like, okay, this is to get little kids into do-it-yourself stuff. Here we got our manila folder, we got our pencil, we got our couple dice, and now we built our entire board game, and now you've got adventures, and now we can play different adventures every week if we want to. So it's kind of that was one of the reasons why I wanted to work with Jack on this, because of the steampunk community is a maker community, effectively.
Yeah, I can already see people who have done this out, and they create their own boards out of wood and things, and come out and just unfold it out and lay it out. Let's do this.
Well, something else you might consider.
And there's not really enough.
Sorry. I was just going to say something.
No, you're good. Go on.
Something you might consider is talking to the public librarians in your area about your book, and about, because I mean, they love story time, they love playtime at the library. They have kits that kids can check out, that inspiration and imagination kits. So if you talk to the local library about getting your book into it. I mean, every library is different with their collection processes, but they might be able to utilize it for and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks.
And
That's
that'd be
awesome.
another way to spread the word.
That's awesome. Thank you very much for that recommendation.
Brax. Sorry, I'm being invaded at the moment.
I had to close the door so I wouldn't be invaded by my cat or my dog, either one. Oh, that's something new. Just kind of offshoot here while we're talking about animals. I got a new dog.
Aw, what'd you get?
So, yeah, she is a. I think I may have talked about. I thought we may have talked about this, but it could have been in that one that didn't work. That one.
I don't think we have.
Facebook
Go
page.
ahead.
So her name is Rayla Thrace von Riddick. Oddly enough, part of that name I did not come up with, and she is a Slovakian German Shepherd. So she doesn't have the classic like police dog look. She is more like a black and tan mixture all over. But she is definitely a German Shepherd.
Aw.
And they are she's really cool. She's like, as of yesterday, a year old. We had some friends that were deploying and they couldn't take her with her, deploying because of the current political environment. So we took her, and she has been fantastic and likes to sleep on the bed, which is something new because Wolfie was not one to want to sleep on the bed. He was one that was I'll be up here and then I'm going to go lay in my kennel because I like my room. And now she's just like, no, I want to sleep between you guys. Hi.
Aw. She needs the
sleep on
comfort.
top of you. Yeah. But anyway.
Yeah, I
that's
remember
what's
you
new in
telling
my
me
life.
about that. Yeah.
Yeah, I got to
I'll have
meet her.
pictures later.
That was a month or two ago, I think. And
Mhm.
she was already enormous.
Oh yeah.
And not even finished growing, I don't think. But I can't imagine having any bed space with her there too, based on my dogs and how they like to push me out of the bed.
Yeah, spread out. She likes to. She's a turd. So right before you start to like get to bed, like you're standing next to your bed, you're taking off your glasses, you're taking your phone out of your pocket, you're laying it on the nightstand, and she dives onto the bed and dives right in your spot, looks up at you like, "Hi, you're gonna sit right here, aren't you?" Like, I can't get in bed now. She's like, "I'm in your way." So I
Yeah,
gotta fight the dog. I have
my
to
dog
challenge
does
her
that
to a board
too.
game or something.
No, you don't say. Thanks.
Oh,
This one's little. This one's handleable. I've got a larger Basset Lab that once I put him in the bed, because he can't jump up by himself, I have to put him in the bed. So I'm signing up for whatever I get. But then he lomps right over to where I'm trying to lie down, and I have to push him and roll him over so I can have some sort of space to get in bed at all. Yeah. I know what you're talking about.
he is a very lovey dog. Rita's right. Oh,
Yeah, this is Sunny. She's our puppy. She is about to turn 2. Yeah.
And much better behaved than my cat that just had to be removed. So
Good girl. All right. Okay.
all right,
Awesome report. Thank you, Travis.
very cool.
Do you have more? I don't want to shut you down too early.
No. Well, there's depending on how successful this is, depends on how far we go with it. Like I have I've actually developed a card game development system as well. The card game is Galactic Scouts versus the one that I'm using to build around to build the book around building the card game is called Galactic Scouts Trek and Field Day. You have like 9 kids, and they're all Galactic Scouts, and you have 9 different events that they have to participate in, and then you have 9 different tools they can use to give them one of 3 different skills, right? Like speed, strength, and balance. Okay. Just kind of a little thing, like say me and Jack were going back and forth, and I had my hand, and it was my turn. So I'd put down an event card. I'd put down the balance beam, right? So on track and field day, they have to go across the balance beam. Well, if he doesn't have a character on the played on the board that has the ability to actually have balance, then he's going to be unable to complete the challenge. So I get a point. And but what he could do is if he has a card in his hand that it's like a balance pole, where you could hold the balance pole, and if he give you a balance of +1, well, he could play that card on top of his character, and now he can complete the event, and he gets a point instead of me getting a point.
Okay.
And then, you play through the entire deck of all your characters and all your events until, at the end of after you've gone through your entire deck, that's when you tally up who has the most points, and then whoever has the most points wins, kind of thing. So
you have like
I haven't done this up yet. I'm. He's like, "Do you have more?" Yeah, I have more, but I haven't written it down. I don't have a book of it.
I've actually played a game similar to that, and I liked that whole idea that you have like your character cards, and they had mission cards. So the mission cards would be turned over onto the table, and like, well, complete this mission, but you need a captain and a radio operator of a certain level, like +1 or whatever.
Yeah.
And so,
Very similar.
and I have my captain and my radio officer, and I have a +1 radio, and so I can play those three. I can play those two characters and that to complete that mission. Oh, but here comes an interrupt card. Here comes some ninjas from the other team or from the other guy at the other side of the table, and now I gotta have to defeat the ninjas before I can complete the quest. And
this would be a card game for like 6-year-olds, so
yeah,
no ninjas.
There's always room for ninjas.
Always
there's room for
pirates
ninjas,
versus
but
ninjas.
the interrupts and the interrupts
Oh,
and
yeah.
the draw extra
Oh.
cards.
Oh, I've been playing Uno with Cody.
Oh,
And-
Uno.
Yes, the vitriol that is coming out in my child from us skipping him and like, yeah, the political alliances that get made and destroyed in a literal 20-minute time frame.
Yeah, I try to avoid that with my game systems. I try to avoid that, that political conflicts. I'm more
My
along
kid
the lines
is
of, let's all
finally
have
starting
fun.
to get old enough where that's a thing. Prior, I would not have tried that. He wants to be on a team. Like Minecraft's always been on a team.
Yeah.
Any type of thing is always teamwork. And then all of a sudden, like, no, we're going to play, Lex likes playing a game called Thermonuclear War, and it's, card game. And if you get the same, you slap it, you take the whole deck or whatever it has got to, and he was so butthurt from losing over and over and over until finally you could just see the determination in there. But it's a little bit like Slapjack. There's some more rules that make it random, and you have to play with like so many decks of cards, so it's this huge ordeal. I will eventually whittle down and lose. I'm not good at it, but I do like the fact that I'm watching my kid get and want more dynamic games, and it wants to confront me more. Like I told him with chess, he watched the Queen's Gambit. He was like, "I want to learn to play chess." I'm like, "All right, but I'm not going easy on you. I'm going to win. And the moment you beat me at this game, you have won. You're done. We're gonna never play again." And he's just this weird like calculation in his head. But he is out there to beat me. I pull it out every couple of weeks. I don't try to do it like every night. I don't give in to that whim. It's got to be a special occasion. We pull out the chessboard. But he almost got me once because I wasn't paying attention, and he was being smart. He was like, "You want another beer? You want we want some more chips?" I'm just like, "You little bastard!" All right. My kid's figuring out the metagame.
He's learned the tactic of distraction.
There you go.
Yeah, chess. I know how to play chess. I don't know how to win chess.
There is a difference. I mean, I vaguely
entirely
understand the
different.
rules.
You got to
but
take the red one pieces and jump over the black and white ones.
checkers. Isn't that checkers?
Yes.
So it's a new type. You put all of it on the board. Backgammon pieces too. Got to roll
I mean,
to see how many
checkers
movements
I
you
can
get.
play. I can rock some checkers, but chess, no. I've had multiple people try to teach me how, and not my game.
That's what I need. I need like just go to like Steampunk November and just like randomly challenge people to chess or checkers.
What?
The chess master has arrived.
Like randomly challenge people to chess or checkers.
Sorry.
Are you trying to bump up our numbers by watching at the same time?
Not on purpose. The heck did I push? Okay.
We good now? Am I going
Did you
to
bring
go
any
into
homework?
oblivion?
Did you bring any homework?
My homework? I brought something exceedingly steampunk. It's called elderflower liqueur. I recommend it.
What you're drinking doesn't count as homework, usually.
What?
But if that's all you can muster up, and that's the best you can do.
It's been a week. I actually wanted to talk about hats a bit. I kind of wanted to get a little into that, so I could give you the 5-minute ordeal of my hat.
No, that sounds like a topic we could really, get into. I tell you what,
Yeah.
let's hold off on that. It's about 8:42 now, and I wanted to get into, since I think we are coming out of COVID, hopefully, knock on wood. I think I need to get into, upcoming events and our calendar, because we haven't been able to do that for like the last 2 years, and it used to be something we jumped into at the end of every show back in the olden times. So
Before I arrived and started derailing everything.
before
the
the back
pandemic.
arrived,
Before the blue stocking times.
back when we were just a podcast radio kind of thing, and Flavio and I and Erica did the show. We had a calendar full of stuff, which I don't know if it's full of stuff right now, but
Yeah,
there
Jack, it was before
going on.
you.
A few things that I could touch on, let everybody know. Let's see. Most things in Houston. Houston seems pretty hot right now. But I'm sure you guys have seen posts about the Steampunk Ball at a place called Space at Will off of Commerce Street in Houston. It's a 21 plus event. That's supposed to be steampunk, and a local band out of San Marcos is playing the Intergalactic Space Corps. And they got dance performances and other entertainers and stuff. Man, I looked at this. It looked really cool, and then I saw that their tickets for admission were like $80.
Oh yeah, I heard about that. A lot of people were like, "Wow, that's a bit much."
Ref, which is to say, me.
Yep.
Well, events are notoriously hard to make money on.
Yep.
If you don't have sponsors, you're not going to make any money. Like I have like 3 friends that are promoters. One promotes boxing, one promotes MMA, and another does live music promotion. And all 3 of them, all 3 of them say the same thing. If you don't have sponsors, you will not make money promoting events. You will always either lose money or you will break even, period. do not ever expect to make money unless you have sponsors, and that's pretty much the reality of it. So I can understand an $80 ticket price because the company needs to. They're going to need, like, any event venue you're going to go to nowadays is going to be like between $10,000 and $20,000 for a night, right? That's just that's a decent sized event hall that has amenities that you can do stuff in. There are going to be cheaper places, but those cheaper places are like not going to have bathrooms. So they're not going to have electricity, or they're not going to have X, Y, and Z. There's reasons why they're cheap, but a regular freaking venue that you've got amenities and you can actually do stuff in, you're gonna start at like $6,000-$7,000 a night. And if you don't have 100, like if you don't have a 500 people RSVPing right off the bat, you need to be able to at least cover some base cost. I mean, and we're not talking about how much drinks you order or how much food you're intaking, because at an event like that, there's no telling whether you're going to have a lot of people drinking, because there's no guarantee if the people that are in the Steam Park in that area are drinkers or if they're not. Like in the sport of boxing, people that watch boxing usually like to drink beer. So you can kind of guarantee that you're going to sell beer at a boxing event. It's pretty much standard. You're going to be able to sell beer, right? But at a steampunk event, no one may be beer drinkers, or there may be a few beer drinkers, but not that many. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So effectively, that $80 price tag, while it sounds bad, is reasonable. I mean, it really is.
It also depends on like how much entertainment. If there are 2 bands, I'd say it's pretty stiff. But if you're getting 2, 3, or 4 bands, I'd say it's almost a deal in a lot of ways. Because it'd be like, I'd spend $20 to go see any one of the steampunk bands for a ticket. But that's kind of why I really like Steampunk Novembers. I don't really have to do that because there's like 3 places for music all day, every day.
Well, yeah, that's what I was thinking. Steampunk November, like a 1-day ticket is what? How much was it last time?
$35 or something.
$35, yeah, for a full day event.
How many people do they have going to it on a regular basis, though?
That's true, though. A couple thousand.
Like if you're talking about a couple thousand people, then that's
easy.
You're looking at $6,000-$7,000 every single day coming through the door.
And they're not paying for site fees because they own it.
Yep.
Yeah, but they're paying liability insurance
and electricity.
They're paying a little bit. They're paying a little bit for the
hope.
insurance. They're paying a little bit for the taxes and such. But ultimately, that's $6,000-$7,000 that most of it's going to be going into their pockets. And that's when you're really doing well as an event coordinator. When you have your own venue, you don't have to worry about all the overhead. So sorry, that's just my 2 cents.
No,
No, you're good.
It's some of that Navy time coming back to us, huh?
I still feel like that price point is really limiting how many people are going to be able to show up.
Oh yeah.
Well, that and the gas prices right now, and the fact that Houston's an hour and a half from Houston. Like the moment you're like, that sounds fantastic. It's in Houston.
Yeah.
Which side of Houston?
Yeah. Oh, the very next
really
day, the Territories of Houston is having an April Steampunk brunch.
Ooh.
At a cost of whatever you buy at Denny's.
Ooh.
So,
Is it Denny's?
Yeah.
Hey, go with it, man.
Steampunk Denny's.
North
Sounds
Loop and West.
Steampunk Denny's.
So that's, you can make a weekend of it. Go to the Steampunk Ball and then go to brunch
Stumble into
the
Denny's.
next day. That's
All right, guys. We're going to do a Steampunk Waffle House visit.
Then next Friday, no, not next Friday, the 22nd. So that's 2 weeks Friday. the Surreal Garden at Zilker Botanical Gardens is
Wait.
not necessarily steampunk, but it's sort of a weird psychedelic art installation at a botanical garden, which is by default sort of Victorian. I think you could easily show up in your finery and have a good time.
Oh.
And that's starting April 22nd, Friday. And that's, let's see, Friday and Saturday that weekend, and then Thursday, Friday, Saturday the next weekend.
Cool.
Interesting. That sounds kind of fun. We may have to see about figuring out if we can go out to that.
And that pretty much, as far as I know, covers everything happening for the rest of the month that I've found so far.
Wow. April's a weird time. There's not a whole lot of conventions happening in April usually.
Yeah.
I think it's because it's spring break time.
Spring break and
just finished spring break, and the Easter holiday is coming up, which really takes up a lot of the space for doing things. So yeah.
Yeah, the event should start to kick off again in May. Ooh. Fun stuff.
Got a lot of school going on in this channel. I feel like I need to go back to school. Go get my Series 7.
I have nightmares about going back, about being in school the first time.
I liked it because after I figured it out, there was a pattern to my life. And like, as long as I do the pattern, I can pass, and I get to clock out of reality for 2 months before I get to clock back in, and then just beat myself over the head for 3 or 4 months, and then I get to clock out again. Now there is none of that. I get 2 weeks. I'm just like, how is this? How? Where's the break? There's no way I can't take a vacation and have Christmas on 2 weeks of PTO. It doesn't work. I don't know how people do it.
That's what happens when you get a grown-up job.
Yeah.
Which hopefully I'll be doing soon.
What kind of grown-up job do you want?
Oh, I'm gonna end my GRA position as of the end of the summer semester, and I'm going for a real grown-up librarian job because I have my MLS, but I'm not a librarian. I'm employed as a librarian.
I do librarian. I get stuck reading books all day.
My sister's actually doing that right now, but she's a librarian assistant. She went from being an oncology pharmacist to being a library assistant.
Oh,
that's a calming job.
Is she a medical librarian or
no? It's just a regular librarian assistant. She, I think, because she was an oncology pharmacist in Anchorage, Alaska, there was a lot of stress involved in her job.
I would imagine so.
So now that she's free to be retired effectively, she's got kind of her own little nest egg. She's decided, well, there's always something that working around books is always something I've loved doing. So let me go be a librarian, and she is now a librarian assistant. So I understand the appeal. I get it. So good luck to you, Boo Stocking. I hope you get your awesome library job.
Me too.
I have a friend who's a librarian at the big Austin Central Library, and she's been looking to move up, and she's found it very competitive getting into the higher echelons of library dumb.
Yeah. The only time people move out of those jobs is when they die.
Public librarianship I mean, it depends on what track you go into. If you want school librarian or public librarian, or I'm going for academic. I want to do colleges and universities, but yeah, it can get, depending on where you are, it can get super competitive, real competitive. It's people want to be librarians, but then they get us in and get us out of library school, and then you've got to figure out where the jobs are. So, which is why hopefully I'll get the position that I want at my library that I already work at, but I won't know.
You got your foot in the door already, so.
Well, we'll see. That's the thing that I can't really talk about yet because I don't have any details on it. But as soon as I know, I'm going to tell everyone, as long as it's good news. So.
If there's any voting involved, I could figure out a way to bump up your numbers.
Nope, it's all about the budget.
Oh, those numbers. Yeah, that one's a little
Yeah.
harder to bump up.
Yeah.
Well, they
Really,
at least better
Jack?
be going up by
You'd have
7-8%.
You'd have a little trick or two to bump up those numbers.
Unfortunately, at the moment, inflation's beating my usual way of doing it.
Wasn't that long ago you were telling me about having 2 sets of books and something or other? No?
Ooh.
Oh,
Well, you
shit,
see,
Jack.
first
Might
off, we
not
don't talk about that on stream.
live.
Shut up, Max. Next time I get drunk around you.
Oh,
Can't hold
no.
Oh, I hope not.
As the door flies open and SWAT comes in. Where'd
In
Jack
unrelated
go?
news, I got my tax refund. It was not nearly as big as I was hoping.
It never is.
Yeah, we still have to file
I just have to
ours.
say congratulations for getting something back. I didn't know anything.
Not only those stock losses paid off.
Oh man, write off all those capital losses.
Oh,
Still holding though.
Okay. Well, I guess I need to start letting everybody know how awesome our patrons are over on Patreon. I'd like to thank the Dowager Duchess Claire Bear, Jenny and Ryan Shaver, Kitty Vincent, and Rita and Lawrence Allen, who are watching the show right now, for helping us keep the lights on. They're over there on Patreon. And over there, you can find a copy of the calendar that I've been keeping and adding the few events that I've listed tonight on, and will continue to be adding events to as I find them. So thank you guys. You are awesome. You can find us at Texas Steampunk on Facebook at Texas Steampunk Connection if you're not here already. You can email us at TexasSteampunkConnection@gmail.com if you want to tell us something or, make any suggestions or tell us what you think of us one way or another. Our podcast can be found at TexasSteampunkConnection.podbean.com. And thanks to Blue Stocking, we're on Twitter at TXSteamConnect1. Thanks to Jack. We're also on YouTube and Rumble through his Steam subscription box, which is awesome. And our music comes from Zapsplat.com. This has been Texas Steampunk Connection. For the last hour, you've been listening to us. Thank you so much. Does anybody have anything parting to add?
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Travis,
being here.
thank you for coming in and telling us about your multiple books. I loved hearing about the building a board game with your kids. We're going to link that in the comments. Oh, we already did. That you can find on Facebook, and I'll link them in our podcast as well. And the steampunk RPG that you're writing, that's not out yet, right?
No, that's not out yet. Sorry.
Looking forward to that when it becomes public. That'll be awesome.
Thank you.
Very cool.
Okay. Well, thank you everybody for tuning in. We'll be back here again in 2 weeks on Tuesday night. Until then, mind your gauges.
Gauges.
Mind your gauges.